Okay, so we have an understanding of how to deny our opponent base and posture in order to break their alignment from full mount. And now we're going to take a look at structure. So first off, let's just make sure that our opponent is in proper structure and what improper structure looks like. So I am always creating some sort of a pressure of like a 45-degree angle. I have gravity that is pulling myself down, and then I am usually trying to move laterally up my opponent, and so that's creating a resultant force vector of a 45-degree angle. Kevin is going to be framing with his elbow flush against my hip, forearm across, and then this elbow is going to be inside, accessing this leg as a lever, and then usually closed circuit together here where his hand is over top of his wrist so that he's nice and strong. He is boxing out my hips so that I am unable to move forward in any way while compromising his structure. The ways, like the common thing that's taught for white belts is don't extend your arms out like this. And that's because when we're in bottom mount, white belts will just push directly upwards like this, like a bench press, and then because he is no longer framing my hips, if we turn to the side, the reason why this is bad is he's not framing me. I can slide right up into a high mount, accessing his arms as levers, or you have that bullshit crappy armbar where the hand comes over top and they just switch in. That doesn't work on anybody good because nobody good bench presses up like that. But if Kevin was to have his arms at that 45-degree angle and even just lock both his elbows out and frame both hips, so now push, yes, like this is fine. Even if his arms are completely locked out, they're at a 45-degree angle, he is stopping me from being able to advance. As long as he is careful about me accessing the arms as levers and he knows to withdraw and use short frames, nothing wrong with fully extending the arms as long as the force direction is properly aligned. Same, even if he keeps his elbows up and he's not fully extending his arms, understand this is a lever. It's not in contact with my body in a way that stops me from being able to. This is what I'm looking to do in mount, is access his arms and push them upwards like this so that I can continue to climb. So Kevin is going to be in a proper structure like this. Dealing with structure here is very difficult. So before we even start looking at how to try and access these arms as levers, we're just going to go over the concept of making him respect the control of his posture or trying to choke him, so that he has to have a choice of, do I keep my arms in this proper position to stop Rory from being able to advance, or do I have to actually start defending a choke at this time? So both Kevin's arms are blocking out my hips. That means his head is completely unobstructed for me. So a lot of different ways that we can go through this. You have Ezekiel chokes. They're not super effective, but they are something that we can do to create that response. And that's really the main thing that we're trying to do right now. My arm wraps underneath his head. I'm grabbing the inside of my own sleeve, and then I am bringing my fist over top to block the carotid artery, or even just drive it into his windpipe to start causing him discomfort, so he's gonna have to reach up. I personally don't like that one very much. I can create the same thing by even just grabbing the collar and rolling my knuckles into his neck. I can grab the collar and drive my forearm across his neck. See, it starts to get uncomfortable enough that he needs to reach up, and I'm going to be able to start moving up and taking advantage of his broken structure. Harder to do no-gi because we don't have the best anchor points, but I can still do a no-gi Ezekiel. I can still take both my fists and drive down. I can take my forearm. I'm just going to, once again, grab onto the back of scapula, shoulder, and I'm just going to drop the forearm here. If you're doing this and your opponent's just looking at you like you're an idiot and he's keeping his arms in that same position, you're not doing it well enough for him to respect it. We are trying to actually create a lot of discomfort, pain if we're actually driving it right on top of the trachea, or actually trying to choke him by blocking the windpipe or occluding the carotid arteries. In the gi, the cross choke is one of the most popular and the most effective in the sense where I'm able to reach nice and deep, get this grip, and really start going for the choke. And if he doesn't respect it at all, I will get that tap. And then when he comes up to reach up for to block the choke, his elbows have to lift up more to be able to be successful, and that's what's going to allow me to start looking at attacking the armbar. Our job in jiu-jitsu is to compromise our opponent's alignment and submit them via either strangulation or a joint lock. Sometimes people are hesitant to do this stuff like I talked about in other videos because they feel like it's going to be rude or I feel like a dickhead. My job is to choke my opponent, strangle him, take the knuckles, drive it in. The movie style choke, obviously we're not going to be just taking our hands and crushing at the trachea, that's not allowed, but I can lock my arms, my hands in this L formation, and I can absolutely just do this. Kevin has to respect it. Yeah, he starts bringing the hands up to defend that. I am creating a response from him. Always forcing that dilemma of, for my opponent, do I keep my arms in proper alignment to defend this position, or do I have to bring my hands up to defend this choke? Make them respect the choke, make them respect how you're breaking their posture, and you're going to be effective by attacking their structure afterwards.